Can you remind me of the number of packages that the government has distributed to this point?
I think it was 116,000.
15,000. It was indicated too that partners would have been distributed. Do you have information about that number from the partners?
Not in my notes here, but I can indicate, for example, that the World Food Kitchen was one of our stronger partners. To date, they have done just 1.3 million hot meals into various communities.
Right, but that's not packages. That would have been
that's hot meals.
Right, so they will give a daily distribution of hot meals. So if we work with the 116, you also indicated that you estimate that each package will serve about 4 people.
Yes, for 4 days.
For 4 days. So with about 20 days gone, then we should have had about 5.
Alright, so what's in the dark has to come to light. You know, Damian Crawford has exposed what Andrew Holness is not doing with the amount of money that he has received so far. You know, and Damian Crawford has basically calculated everything that Andrew Holness is lacking in terms of how many money he's spending on the care packages. You know, and we on the outside basically are looking and we're not seeing nothing wrong because we don't have the details, you know. We're not hearing the full story. But these clips are from a recent parliament a couple days ago of Damian Crawford exposing what Andrew Holness is not doing.
That is ideal.
That is ideal. So with this number, we should have indicated that if it was serving a family of 4, then at best, each family would have received 1/5 of the time, or 1/5 of the families would have received enough times. Which one is the more likely circumstance?
Repeat this for my clarity.
All right, so
one for
the 5 periods that would have existed since the hurricane, you have distributed enough food for 1 per family. So if it is 1 per family, then they would have received 1/5 of the times that you desired. Or was it that 1/5 of the family received enough rotations?
The reality of it might be a mix of the two. Because we have been back into locations to issue products.
So in that case, therefore, there would be some persons that would have been in a rotation, indicating that there might be quite a bit of persons that have not been touched by government.
The possibility could exist.
How quickly could we get that information so that we can cauterize and immediately solve that situation?
We could see to work on it just to complete it this week.
Is there any desire to work with members of parliament and their systems to provide some of that information?
Well, to the extent that we have been, I know the general instructions to the delivery crews is to force the cause that the PDCs are informed before we go into areas. And we, to the extent that
the parish development,
disaster coordinators. Parish disaster.
PDCs, parish disaster coordinators. Remember, I'm telling you, a lot of people are watching, so a lot of these acronyms and abbreviations.
So to the extent that we're going into areas, Chair, then that is how we operate. We have seen in a number of instances, members of parliament or councillors will come and they join in the discussion.
So if they find out about it,
but is there any
then
call?
they can show. But there's no message to them directly.
Right. Is there a call? Can there be a call for areas not yet touched, people not yet touched, to be submitted? Because the numbers would suggest that either they are starving for 3 of the 4 of the 5 rotations, or 4/5 of them are not getting. So either way, the numbers are not working out on our behalf. Is there a strategy to get more information so that that can be rectified?
Well, we can choose a strategy around that, and we can start by leaning into the resources which are there. Your PVCs, your councillors,
the churches.
The churches where necessary.
All right. How much water do you desire per day for the people in the worst affected areas? Bottles of water.
That's a calculus I don't have on my hands right now.
Okay. And how much bottles of water do we think they're getting per day currently?
Alright, welcome back to another installment of Speaking on TV. In this episode, we're going to talk about the government, because since the hurricane has hit, many people have been saying that the government is not doing enough to support people affected by the hurricane. And a lot of things has been circulating on social media, and we don't know what is true from what is not true. You get me what I say? And everybody is saying that it's affiliated with politicians, and you get me what I say? So politicians are always divided, especially in times of needs, and I don't understand why. You get me what I say? And if without Jamaica, there wouldn't be a politician, there wouldn't be a JMP nor a PMP. And in this video, we basically talk about what Damian Crawford has bring to our attention about the lack of support from Holness in this time that everybody literally account on him, especially the persons that were affected by the Category 5 hurricane. And bro, if half of what Damian Crawford is saying, it doesn't make sense, bro. What are you doing with that amount of money that you have received so far? You get me? I'm understand, as I said, the social media has played a big part in this, because most people seeing is believing. So if you don't basically see clips of you supporting them, there's no way in hell that you can prove that you have supported them. You understand? And Jamaica has received billions so far. I'm not saying billions is going to rebuild Jamaica in a space of a couple of days. No. They have already estimated that we are going to need trillions to rebuild Jamaica. But everybody's wondering what happened to the amount of money that you have received so far. Why isn't it rebuilding Jamaica? Why aren't we seeing proof of it helping people and so forth? I guess that's just a big that's the only issue everybody's having with Holness supporting those who are in need in this time period.